Hey, everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Today, I'm going to be talking about double standards, right? Everybody knows what, or maybe they don't know about what a double standard is or hypocrisy in a relationship. And this cuts across family relationships, friendships, you name it. Okay. So pay attention, listen up, and hopefully you can learn some key elements into maybe not getting sucked into double standards, or maybe if you play that double standard game and you're a bit of a hypocrite, maybe it'll get you to stop. Okay. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Art of Relationship show right after this. Hey, everybody, I'm your host, as always, Greg Dudzinski, fully licensed professional counselor, relationship and sex specialist as well. And I've been doing this a long time, over 20 years now. Excuse me. So, talking about, one big thing I run into, like I do every day in my office, okay, is about hypocrisy. It's about double standards and, how many people look at I never buy into double standards. Okay. What is good for one person does not good for the other. Or I can do this, but you can't. Or, you know what? I'm a man. I'm allowed to do this, but you're a woman. You can't. I'm not about double standards at all. I'm all about equality. I'm about, having that partnership, if you will, where you both have the same rules, that type of situation. And we all know, women have, monthly visitors, their period every month, and guys don't. So we know there are, some unfair situations. Okay. We know physically that type of aspect. Okay. And we know there's prejudices and biases and gender racism about that. But I want to get rid of, double standards in relationships and what causes a person to maybe allow that to happen in their relationship, right? And I tell everybody, right? Most people, right? We want our way all the time. Who doesn't, right? Most people don't. Maybe if you're maybe a people pleaser, right? Maybe that doesn't matter to you. But for most of us, and I admit it, we want our way most of the time, if not all the time. Excuse me. But however, it's when we don't get our way, what happens? Do we throw a temper tantrum? Do we kick and scream? Do we pout? Do we moan? Right now, if we're not getting our way once in a while, life can be tough. It can be really, really rough. Okay. So, outside of that situation, not about hypocrisy, double standards. And, throw your questions in your chat down below in the comment section, I'm sorry, about those situations. Number one, I look at double standards. Is it based on society? Is it based on culture, religion, those type of elements where it comes in double standards that it's okay for a man to do this, but it's not okay for a woman, or it's okay for a woman, but it's not okay for a man. An example I run into might be, one person in a relationship, they're able to stay out with their friends till 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, but they say, you know what, you better not do that. I'll leave you. That's not right. I'm a man. I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm a grown ass man. I hear this a lot. Or I'm a grown woman. I'll do whatever I want. But if you do this, I'm going to be ticked off. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be mad. And I'm like, I'm did I hear you right? About hypocrisy, right? And it comes down to, the double standard about when somebody cheats, right? And they want that person to take them back, him or her. And they might have cheated multiple times. And I'll ask, what happens if your partner cheated on you? Oh, I'll be gone. I know me, I'll be dead. I'll be gone. I'll be jetting out of there. And I'm like, what? Isn't it? But you want your partner to take you back. And they'll tell me, Greg, I know it's a double standard or hypocrisy. That's just the way it is. And I'm like, what happened to the same rules for both people? And I try to get couples, I try to get people into understanding. And we know life is not fair, right? We know about racism, discrimination. We know there's hypocrisy. Shit, look at politics, right? We know there's double standards, especially in America. And I'm not into that. And I want to be politically incorrect and get rid of that and try to get about equality, especially in a relationship. Because when there's a imbalance of, say, a power or rules or someone making up all the rules in a relationship, chances are it's a matter of time that it's going to start going sideways, right? You're going to start having resentment. You're going to start having, maybe arguments intensifying over time because one person is unfairly treated. Okay. And I don't want that. I want to look at, what, you define love. You define how you want your relationship to be. And if it is not like that, or you're not, on the same page or close to it, I always say nothing is perfect, but what is happening to be on the same page? And if you're not, and you feel like you're being mistreated, and again, that doesn't mean you get your way all the time. Let me clarify that, okay? Where one person could rip and roar and, do whatever they want. But if their partner does that, they're going to have an issue. They're going to get upset. They're going to get mad. They're going to start screaming, belittling, sort of ripping that person apart verbally, emotionally, that type of situation. And it's like, well, it's okay for you to do this. And then we start throwing in, the but word, right? But I was only with da 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 da. I was with, why are you upset? I was with my homegirls. I was with my sister, my brother, my cousin. Why are you upset? But if I do that, that's where the issue comes in. Not that I want to do that, but that's where that issue comes in. And that's where I want you to be able to look at the situation about double standards and what comes into play in your relationship. And this comes in with, friendships and family relationships too. So usually when I talk about, relationships, I definitely key in on romantic sexual relationships, but a lot of stuff can apply to platonic relationships in, a family situation, relative or a friendship situation as well. So number one, I want you to decide and decipher what are the double standards or hypocrisy in a relationship. We know, number one, what is it based on? Is it, are those based on cultural beliefs? Are they age old cultural beliefs, societal beliefs, religious beliefs that, oh, men are supposed to have more power, right? Remember the old adage, and this I think stopped when I was a kid or maybe before a kid, where they used to say, oh, the wife is supposed to obey the husband. I'm like, what? Why can't the husband obey the wife too, right? Why does it have to be? And they remove that, right? And we all know, let's talk about hypocrisy and double standards with Roe versus Wade and what the hell that did to this country and to women's right, women's health care and right to health care. It just totally demoralized it based on a minority of people, hypocrisy. And if something we know, if something happened to them, they would be, oh, I'm going to change it because it's me, because of my clout, because of my status. Yeah, I have different rules. I'm not about that. Okay. I'm about fairness. I'm about, trying to have the same set of rules for each person in a relationship, no matter if it's heterosexual, same sex relationships. It should not matter. Right. But you decide what those rules are and you start looking at number one, what is tolerating me to be okay with, or maybe not being okay with, but putting up with hypocrisy in a relationship, or if there is a double standard. Okay. No, excuse me. I know allergies are going nuts and I've been having issues the last few weeks with it. So I apologize. I'm real. But like I said, I don't do edits on the video. I post them, as I'm doing it live. So this is me. No edits, no anything like that. So, where is that going for? Where, number one, what are they? Define what the hypocrisies or what you view as a hypocrisy is in your relationship or what the double standard is. Okay. Number two, okay. What is causing you to be okay with it or to get clarity about what is going on? And there might be a hypocrisy or double standard, right? When it comes to sex or when it comes to, financial situations. What about parenting? There's so many different dynamics where we can run into hypocrisy or, oh, I'm not doing that, but you better do it. or financial, right? Where one person is maybe making a lot more money, but the other one is maybe holding a double standard or hypocrisy because of gender issues or whatever. That, oh, because you're making more money, you need to pay all the bills or more bills, or because I'm a woman, my man pays all the bills, or vice versa. It doesn't matter what the gender or what the situation is. I'm trying to get rid of that and be able to help you define what works for you and where that double standard came from, or set of rules that are sort of maybe slanted towards one member of the relationship versus the other, right? Or what, oh, you're the mother, you're supposed to do that, I'm just supposed to do this because I'm just a dad. What do you do to make sure you're not taking each other for granted and that you play by the same rules? Okay. What gets in the way of that? And what do you do to try to grow and mature? I did say mature, emotionally mature, to look at, what, this really isn't fair for my partner, and to be able to put yourselves in each other's shoes. Some people are just selfish. Some people, maybe their intention is not to be selfish, but the impact comes across as being very selfish. And a lot of times it could be, well, I was raised this way, like I said, right? How we're raised, culture, religion, societal expectations. And we need to change that. We need to get back to a place of health and, equality as much as possible, and get rid of those double standards. Okay. So we know there are certain things that men might be a lot more physically stronger just because of biology, say, than women can. And it might be a fact, right? And there's some women that can lift, do heavy work more than some men can. We know this, okay? But we're looking at, when it comes to the same set of rules and about balance, right? If the guy does more manual lifting around the house, moving, cement blocks, that type of thing, because the lady just doesn't have that physical strength, that's okay. But does that balance? If he does this, does she do more stuff? Maybe she cuts the grass. Maybe, she paints in the house, paints a room, or, whatever it is, that there is more of a balance. And it's not necessarily a double standard or hypocrisy. It's the balance. So there's a different element when it comes to a double standard and hypocrisy versus something that is realistically more difficult for one person than the other. Okay. Now, we can't, a woman, yeah, I want my husband or my child's father to breastfeed. Well, we can't, right? So we know, physically there's some things that we can't do, that the other gender can. Okay. We know that. But outside of those parameters, we're talking about maybe financial double standards. What about sex double standards? It's okay for me to maybe, oh yeah, I love oral sex, I want a blow job. That's okay for me, but I ain't going down on you. Is that a double standard, or is that hypocrisy? You get me? That is a prime example, right? It's okay for me to like this, but it's not okay for you to like this sexual act. Or when it comes to decision making in the household, maybe changes. Maybe you're doing home improvement or remodeling projects. I mentioned about, painting a little bit ago, about, color schemes. And is it that, well, I'm whoever of the house, the man, woman, whatever person of the house, and I'm going to make all the decisions because I make all the money. Um, is that fair? Depends on the relationship, right? So I'm talking about those double standards. I'm talking about maybe time spent outside the relationship. And I have a lot of people that might be in maybe a golf league. They play softball, baseball, volleyball, tennis, whatever it is. And it's okay for them to be away from the house and enjoy those activities 3, 4, 5 days a week for real. But the other one can't go out with her sister, her friends, one night a week. And I'm like, what? Why is this fair? Well, because then I would have, again, does it come down to being selfish? And I'm looking at what it would take to have a greater balance in your relationship where there's more equality, to get rid of those double standards and those aspects of hypocrisy in their relationship. And I look at, is it ego? Is it pride? Or that people just believe a certain thing should be right based on how they were raised. That doesn't mean it's right. It just means how you were raised. And I'm all about challenging those beliefs and getting people more connected, more happier, into where there's more of a balance in a relationship that works for both people. And we know if there's a two sets of rules, double standards for relationships, chances are that relationship will not flourish. And chances are that relationship will not end because one person is going to feel like they're taken for granted, not important, or that the power differential in a relationship is way out of balance. So I'm trying to eliminate that and help you get to a place where you feel more connected and it's more equal and you have more equal footing with one another and within decision making in the relationship and how you handle your life. Plain and simple, right? So sounds easy. And I want you to be able to go after it. And again, you know what? Check out my social media, Instagram, YouTube. Please follow me, like me. I'd love it on Facebook under Love Guru Greg. You can find the audio version only on every listening platform under the Art of Relationship show. And my website, it's new redesigned. Check it out, the Art of Relationships.org. And again, peace and love to everybody out there. Everybody enjoy your Wednesday. Everybody take care. Okay. Bye bye.